Took that two by 6, I cut it off flush with the front of the radiator. I ripped it, you know. And I drilled a couple holes in each end so it could bolt down to the frame rails there. But I need to get all that wrapped with metal so I don't have any wood showing up front. And kind of get an area coming down here for a crank hole. You know, make it look like Henry had it, kinda. So I'm gonna cut this corner out of this old, that's a Winchester furnace, because the corner is kind of what I need there. And then we'll just play with it until we can make something look kind of right, you know? I got that all cut out of there. A couple screws down here holding me up. Get them out of there. 5/16ths. Every time I haul this scrap pile in, I got one of those roll around magnets. I take a rake and rake this all up and then take the magnet over it and rake it again and do that 3 or 4 times. Try to get as much of this stuff up as I can. I don't even like having a scrap pile, but my job demands it, you know. Anyway, we'll see what we can do with that. Throw it over the fence here. You know, water heaters have got real thin metal in them. The jackets on a water heater is nothing more than thin tin. And then they've got it all spray foamed on the inside, so it's hard to even get metal off of them. But I'm looking at that large diameter water heater there, and I'm thinking if I could pull the skin off that, that would be enough, big enough to do that roof with. I wouldn't really care how thick the metal was up there. I just know it's quite a chore to get the skin off of a water heater. But that might end up being our roof right there, guys. It's gonna be the only thing I'm gonna have big enough in one piece. It's probably worth me trying to do that. I got that piece down there. I don't quite have it shaped right yet. It's just not quite symmetrical, but it's getting close. See how this has got that piece down there? I can't perfectly duplicate that because I'm just not the same. But trying to get something sort of similar. See how that's got the lines in it, like it's molded that way? If I took some round rod and went to perimeter of that, and then by the time I put these fender struts on here, going up to the fenders right below the headlight, if you can picture that. MIG welder's completely out of gas. I got to get some, but I don't need it to do the wood. Let's see if we can kind of get this area around the windshield. Must be a cat. Area around the windshield buttoned up just a bit. Cut out that air piece for that back support for the hood. Kind of got into what I needed here, but we'll cover that with a little trim board. What's up with these dogs today? Just keep looking over that way barking, but I don't see anything over there. I don't know what they're all wound up about. I had a commenter on the video before last. I was ripping all them boards for the floor. Said I need a table saw. I don't disagree with that. A table saw would be handy, but I've never had one, and I've done so much of this kind of work over the years. I've got really good at ripping boards with a circular saw. And I mean, let's face it, I'm not building kitchen cabinets here, you know, and my cuts are definitely good enough for what I'm doing. Here about a year ago, there was some guys here in town that were building a deck, and something they don't do much of. They're just doing it on their own, you know. And the very last board needed ripped. And they actually drove around until they found a table saw so they could rip that one board. It's like, really, guys, it's a deck. Just take a circular saw and cut it, you know. But anyway, I can rip pretty good lines with a circular saw. Anyway, I gotta get a jigsaw out here and do these corners. Yeah, basically, guys that would think you needed like a table saw to do a project like this, there'd be about 3 things, you know, that some guys are true perfectionists and think, you know, a table saw is the only way to get it right. This isn't a perfectionist type project. And you got the guys that would like make a comment like that, thinking that that's the only way to do it and it can't be done with a circular saw. Those are just guys that don't have the experience to do it with a circular saw. And then the third would be guys that just have all the money in the world and just buy whatever tool works the best, you know. But I'm not going to spend the money for a table saw. I don't do enough of that kind of work. And then I'd have to store it and it'd just be sitting around in my way or folded up in a corner somewhere, hard to get to. And yeah, but I used to post a lot of the Eliza work on Facebook, you know, and you'd get guys on there, like when I was fixing the trunk lid and the trunk floor and stuff. Well, that can't be done, you know. You gotta find a different trunk lid. You gotta buy that won't work. Well, those guys that are saying stuff like that it can't be done, they shouldn't be getting in the way of the people that are out there doing it, is the way I look at it, you know. I mean, sure, it can be done. You just got to do it, you know. They say, well, just buy a new one. They're not very much money. Well, yeah, but I don't think I need it. Why would I do that? But anyway, yeah, that's why this is my way, MFGs, because I'm gonna do it my way. Anyway, let's see if we can get this piece of plywood up here and kind of get this windshield mocked up in place. And hopefully I'm showing you guys how you can get stuff done with basically having nothing, is kind of what the channel's all about. I got a handful of tools and you can get quite a bit done with that, you know, if you try. And it's fun to do, you know. I mean, just get out there and do it. I'm having a blast doing this. You really can't screw it up. There's no wrong and right to it, you know. Just had a few nails holding that in place. Wonder it didn't blow out of there. Hey, quit that barking. Makes no sense with them today. They're like on a bark fest. It's like a party of barking. I've had this board laying here. I guess I bought that when I was doing the steps. It was for the step backs, you know. I don't have all them on yet, do I? 3 more to do. Oh, there's another one there though. Yeah, I can always get more. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use this for the Model T. Go up along the front of that cab with it, you know. Going back looking at my photos, I got this glass in here good and tight. I could get a couple holes drilled in that, put a screw or 2 in each one, silicone it in, but I was getting ready to put that 1x8 up here along the sides. And when I do that, that's gonna make that glass look countersunk. Looking at the pictures I got, that glass comes out flush with the trim boards on the front. So I think I'm gonna pop that back out, get my trim boards on, then put the glass back in. Need some long construction screws to do that with though. You know, I bought a box of those, a big box when I was doing the staircase. I know I didn't use them all, but I can't find them. Yeah, I gotta go to town tomorrow, I'll get some and we'll button this up. But I did find some old 1x and start putting them up on the roof like slats up there. So I think I'm going to use the skin off a water heater up there, and that's not very thick stuff. That should give it enough support to, you know, make us a pretty good roof. Just setting up in here. Got my cigarettes in the overhead console. Yeah, we're about ready for a road trip, man. Well, I need a steering wheel. Anyway. I enjoy doing YouTube videos, and I find that the people on YouTube are all decent people. I like all the guys that are on the channel and the subscribers, the guys that comment and stuff. Really enjoy reading those. You post something on Facebook, man, do the experts just come out of the woodwork. To start with, if you're going to make a Facebook video doing any kind of construction project or any do-it-yourself project of any kind, the first thing you're going to have is a full face shield with a respirator on it and an air tank. Got to have that, and safety goggles. And then you've got to have a level A hazmat suit, rubber gloves with like Kevlar gloves over the top of them. And then it probably wouldn't hurt if you just duct taped your cuffs to your gloves. And then and only then are you protected well enough you can pick up a screwdriver. Not a power screwdriver. You don't have that kind of protection yet, but you can use a Phillips or straight screwdriver. Safety experts, big time. If you got all of that under control and you start on your project, you could do everything perfect. Say it's a carpentry project. You could do everything 100% right by the book. And there would be some guy pop up and say, you used the wrong screws for the pine boards you was using. They got too much zinc content. Where's all these experts come from? I don't know. I get on the plumbing sites. And they'll have posts on there, you know, with the plumbing work and stuff, and all these experts commenting. I'm a licensed plumber. I know the codes. I passed a test the first time. I think I got 98% on it, you know. You get all these guys commenting. I don't know where these guys come from. On the plumbing experts, they've usually they're in their 30s, got beards, wear square-toed boots, have a lot of DeWalt tools. I don't know. Anyway, I just don't post anything on Facebook anymore. It's just not worth it to me, you know. These experts. I worked for a plumbing company once, and I worked with one of these guys like this. Every time you go do a job with him, he'd be doing algebra to try to figure out how to run a pipe, you know. A 15-minute job would take him 4 hours. And it just irritated the shit out of me. And I'm just wanting to get it done so I can move on to the next one, get done, you know. I absolutely could not work with this guy. And then if he finally did get the job done, it'd take him another hour to put his tools away, wiping them off with a rag and putting them all in their specific spot. No, that don't go there, it goes over here. You couldn't get anything done. And I know what you're thinking. Jeremy, why wouldn't you just hit him with a big pipe wrench and put him to sleep for a little while so you could get something done and get out of there? Well, I hear you. That's what I would like to do, but the boss wouldn't let me do that. So what the boss ended up doing was, him and I just didn't work together. I worked with a great old guy named Sonny. He's 75 now, probably, and retired, but he had the same train of thought as me. Get it done, get it over with, get to the bar, get a beer, you know. But yeah, I just can't work with guys like that. But anyway, I just like to do it, get it done, and move on. That being said, I think I'm gonna try to strip the jacket off this big fat water heater back here and see if I can roll it out on here and maybe get a roof on this whole girl so I can drive it in the rain, you know. I probably won't drive it in the rain. We'll make it look like we could drive it in the rain. But Jeremy, let's say I do want to post a Facebook video and I want to use a power screwdriver or power drill. What do I need to do then? All the safety equipment I just mentioned earlier, plus you're also going to need steel-toed boots and a safety harness. And then you can run a power screwdriver. Oh, and whatever you do, don't post a video with a cord being used that looks like this. They'll send somebody to your house and they'll shut you down. You'll have an OSHA guy at your front door and might even put you in jail. I'm not sure. Just don't do it. I think I'm just going to throw it up there, get it kind of centered up the way I want it, and just make some marks and trace it around there with enough left over to wrap the corners, you know. See what happens here. I was left with this seam, you know, going down the water heater jacket where the two halves come together. Now I've got this line here where I centered the window up. I'm going to keep that seam right on that line. Give me another center mark on the front. Get it all laid down flat. Mark it off and then fold these edges over, and I'm going to try to not put any fasteners up there if I can get away with it. I'm just gonna nail it right around the edges, I'm thinking. But I'll put some up there if I have to, but I don't think I will. Anyway, one good thing working with this stuff, I was able to just cut it with tin snips, you know. Get some of this foam off. Got that up there and got the edges folded over. I I haven't nailed it down or nothing yet. I still got to do a little adjusting and a little more work on it, but that's looking about right. I got one more. You know, I started putting these boards up here. I got to put one more at the back. Where this gap's at. Get it up against here, and then I think I can start nailing that down. You know. But anyway, that'll make a good roof. I think it'll be watertight, you know. And then that one picture I got, it shows something folded over that roof and nailed in just like that. I'm not sure if it's metal or fabric, but what I'm doing here actually looks correct to what they had going on up there. So anyway, this should work just fine. I'm going to switch gears away from the Model T project for today, and I want to get to the scrapyard and see if I can get this darn wood burner out of here. And I think on my way from the scrapyard, I'll stop by Menards and maybe pick up a few things to work on the garage with, and maybe the Model T as well. Anyway, I'm out here today, guys. I'm trying to get this old wood burner out of my area here where I'm getting ready to build the deck. I've been breaking that up with a hammer and stuff and throwing it in the back of the truck. Got it backed up here. Yeah, I pretty well got everything but this. Every time I hit that with a hammer, it just bounces. It's like a spring. And I'm not good at swinging a sledgehammer anymore. I wrapped a tow strap around that. I'm gonna see if I can pull it clear over to the edge maybe, so I can just flip it into the back of the truck. I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm here by myself, but I'm going to give it a try here. I want to be able to hook the tow strap up high. If I hook it down to the hitch, it's going to pull down and not work so well. I think I'm just going to put a clevis through this hook and see what happens there. I don't know if that's strong enough to hold it or not. I hope it is. I'm going to give that a try. If something feels like it's breaking, I guess I'll just stop. I don't know. I don't think that's holding anything. Might be. Break that off and have the floor fall down. Yeah, be interesting. Let's get it on video. Tore out that 4x4 sill there they had at the bottom of the door, but it's coming out anyway. I don't care. Otherwise, man, it drug her right to the edge. Didn't bend anything on the truck. Good deal. Now that I've got this old wood burner basically out of here, I think I'm done needing these steps here. I got the new ones inside. I think these can come out once and for all. There's not much holding them together. I think maybe those two screws was about the only thing holding them up there. They probably fall apart if I move them. Oh, there's another screw. That's beginning to look like a possibility. If Colton was here, he could flip it right in the truck. I don't think I'm strong enough. That thing's heavier than hell. Maybe I'll just wait for him, you know? I get the rest of this debris cleaned up. I'm gonna save all them bricks, use them for sidewalks. Rest of the stuff just gets thrown in trash, but this floor is ready to come out of here. And then I can start working, getting a deck in here. But the first thing I gotta do, you know, I put this support post here. It sets on that footing and it goes up and it holds this, well, that's a beam. The roof is split right there. There's a seam in the rafters. So that's a support for the roof up above that beam. But anyway, I never really looked at the way any of this was framed until I started tearing it apart. I assumed that the end of this beam was pocketed into the block wall. Well, it's not. All it's doing is setting on this 2x4, which is coming down and setting on this floor. So I have got to get a screw jack under that beam and get another pole like this on this end. So that's held up good. And then I can take the floor out the rest of the way. So I'm gonna cut a notch in that, screw jack it up, cut a notch in that, and get a 6x6 clear down to the footing. And then the roof will be up, you know. That was never very good. It's just sitting on the edge of one little 2x4 there. It's not a very good framing idea. And actually, the end of that 2x4 ends right here. So there's really not even anything under it in this corner anymore. Just what little bits right there, you know. But anyway, we'll get that secured up, get this mess cut out of here, and get us a little closer, guys. Yep, over here I saved this transmission for a long time because it would have fit my last truck. And I thought if the tranny ever goes out, I've got a spare, you know. There was nothing wrong with the tranny and it never went out. And now I've sold the truck. So I think I'm gonna get this out of here too. No reason to really store it any longer. And I'm gonna need help picking that up as well. But anyway, I get started back on this garage project. I was pricing out concrete and insulation and everything today. First thing I'm gonna do though, I think is, well, I'm gonna get that pole up I was just talking about. But so I can start doing more tear out in here. But the first thing I'm gonna do on the garage here is start getting siding on it. I want to keep the birds out of here, and not only that, it'll look complete from the outside. I need to see that visual, you know, helps keep a guy motivated. I've been looking at this unfinished garage out here for 2 years now. At least I'd like to see it done on the outside this year, you know. And I do want to get concrete in there this year, if at all possible. So anyway, keep moving here. And guys, got that pretty well out of there, just a little bit more to do. Colton gets down here to help me when he gets home, get that out of there. And then I'm gonna top the truck off some washers and dryers and water heaters and get a full load on there. Oh, I did have safety glasses on when I was hammering up that cast iron wood burner. I bitch about those safety experts. I think they get a little carried away, but getting metal in your eye is no joke. I've had it dug out of there 3 or 4 times at the doctor, and it's hard to sleep with metal in your eye. And luckily I've never had an eye put out, you know. But anyway, I was working on the Model T, and I ran out of gas for the welder, so I couldn't do any more welding. I thought, I'll move on and just do the wood. Well, then I ran out of screws. I couldn't do any more of that either. So that's why I started on this. But I'm going to go to town later today, I think, and pick up some stuff. But I think in the next video on the Model T, which I don't know when that'll be, the next video probably might be a garage video. But the next Model T video, I think I'm going to be ready to put a little paint on that cab. It looks like I should have all of that done except for the doors. I'll paint them separate off the car. But probably just like black Rust-Oleum oil-based enamel paint or something. And I could put it on there with a brush and roller, but my good paint guns are here. I call them good paint guns, and that's probably an insult to the guys that have good paint guns, but they spray paint good, so how do you not call them good paint guns, I guess. But anyway, years ago, I bought this damn thing at Farm King, and I was probably 19 or 20 years old. It's probably the cheapest one Farm King had. It's a Power Mate paint gun, and I bought it for something. I don't even remember what. I tried to use it and I couldn't get it to work right, and I think I ended up just using a brush, or I don't know what I did, but I couldn't get it to spray paint good, and I hate to throw away stuff I buy. So I've just been kicking this damn thing around for the last 30 years. I've never tried it since. I don't want to put Rust-Oleum enamel through my good paint guns. And I'm just wondering if I had it mixed right, or maybe it wasn't the paint gun's fault. Maybe it was young Jeremy's fault. I'm going to try this again and spray that Model T cab. And if it still don't work, old Jeremy's going to throw it in the scrap pile. But we're going to give her one more chance. Try the old Power Mate on the Model T, I'm thinking. But anyway, that'll be fun. I think that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank all of you for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers that showed up. And just thanks for following along, guys, putting up with me, you know. Anyway, I guess that's going to do it for this video. Please like, comment, share. Jeremy, later.